Alright, it's day 281 of this series. You can see these phone cord like tendrils tangling with each other. So my intention was to make more regular updates that are 2 to 3 minutes long. Obviously this is twice that at 6+ minutes long. That's because there's just so much to cover on this plant. It's so long. To pan my camera over everything, it requires a lot of time. That's the only reason. So you can see this thing is invading everywhere. I have a series that I tried to get going in that pot that it just covered that you see nothing in, and I'll talk more about that later. Maybe I'll just make a post on a failed series on something I tried to grow. So for the meantime, I'll have to do a lot of tendril cutting and rerouting of these vine offshoots that keep trying to come towards the shade. So it's pretty much conclusive, like I said in the last few episodes, that it prefers to grow in the shade, not in direct sun. Although now with enough fertilization and water, it's doing well in full sun as well. The railing is getting covered. It keeps trying to do this to my Joshua tree, so I have to keep cutting all these tendrils. And in the process, if I'm not paying attention, I get poked by the Joshua tree. So it's just a lot of maintenance and trimming that I don't have to do with my other plants. And sometimes it helps to preventatively do some maintenance and just anticipate what's going to happen and cut all the tendrils that are elongating. They can get up to a foot long, as you've seen many times. So I have to keep rerouting things over the rail, throwing things over the rail, and hopefully, because it's bent towards the shade, it won't just come back in with the next gust of wind. That won't happen if I reroute it over rails or if there's enough friction with other parts of the plant. And for this, it's just a good example of a tendril choking one of its own leaves. So I'm going to throw everything there like I did in the past and put it to use as compost on the top. It's amazing how all that top composting just worked out. All that stuff just disappeared from months past. So it's definitively conclusive from the last few months, maybe even the last 2 years, that people are most interested in fruit tree and fruit vine growing series. Starting in 2015 with the California wild grapevine that got an enormous amount of views and interest, followed by the avocado and navel orange tree series, which were failures before too long, especially the navel orange. But those got a lot of interest, and knowing what I do now, I'd probably do a much better job at growing those things. But I think people want to see that, and they want to see regular updates. The passion fruit vine series is the clear winner of 2017, my 3 herbal series. I thought that would garner a lot of interest because people love the ginger series back then in 2013. That spanned all the way to 2014, I believe. So I thought, maybe people would be more interested, but it seems like there's a balance between topics, plants, growing series that people will search on for YouTube and on the Google search engine as well, compared to rare things like yerba mansa before you right now. So Sweet Annie, California goldenrod right here, not many people know about those, so I think not much new viewership will be brought in. Only my most loyal viewers, handful of people, will click on all those updates. So definitely I'll try to find a balance between what people want to watch and not so much just on what I'm interested in growing. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of things I can find that will be very interesting to grow. Maybe even rare fruit tree cuttings, although there's always that balance. If it's too rare and nobody's heard of it, then nobody will be interested. Oh, it'll seem that way because nobody will find the video and enter the search terms in search engines. So the water here is getting below the watering tray level. That means the watering tray is probably dry again, and I'm watering another few liters from the top with this gentle spray can. I think all those dots on top, the white specks, are vermiculite. They're lighter in density than everything else, so they just float to the top because I've flood watered this so many times. 3 little ones going on there, the seedling and the 2 cuttings, they're doing better. I'm just keeping those around as a curiosity. I don't have any intention of letting those grow to the scale of the main one. And you can see here, this is choked onto the sweet Annie. It's doing that choking routine with its tendrils. So eventually, when this gets long enough, I'll cut those and fling it over the rail or weave it through one of the rail holes. So thanks for watching, and please remember to check out my YouTube, Facebook page. It doesn't have much viewership, but I'm hoping to get a big following on that. And if people like my posts, then their friends will see, because they're public posts, and that will hopefully garner a lot more interest to my channel. So it's gotten to the point where for this plant, sometimes I'm just pouring water into the tray, or for the sweet Annie, I'm just pouring it on top of all that dead compost, and that prevents all the splashing, because these 2 plants need so much water every day practically that just showering like this takes forever. I'm just doing this for illustration purposes, and so I don't disturb the soil more than I already have. As you can see, all the fine roots on top. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for further updates.